Hello everyone and welcome to the video. I am a little bit late with this one. We wanted to try something new for this season and it's been a very busy start to the new season. So I know this is coming out right before the reset of these missions, but I aim to get them earlier in the future weeks, hopefully on a Tuesday or the Wednesday at the latest. And what this new series is going to be is showing you where all the containers are on the weekly rotation of Escalation Missions. Reason for that is because prototype gear can now drop in loot containers again. I thought some newer players or returning players may have forgot where all these containers are. They're well worth opening. You can open them every single day. They're on a daily reset and it's extra prototype pieces. So if you get something that's targeted loot as well that you want, gives you more chance of getting it. So this week we've got Stranded Tanker, Viewpoint Museum, Jefferson Trade Center, Bank Headquarters and DCD Headquarters. We'll cover the loot containers in each one of those missions. There are 8 loot containers in Stranded Tanker. The first one you can find is in the second area. You'll find the next container as you leave the second area and head outside. The next 2 containers are secret containers. As you jump into this area here where the baseball court is, look straight up to find a junction box. That'll open a door for you to get one of the containers. But the other container, you've got to interact with this switch and shoot as many of these baseballs as you can. Now, you don't need to shoot all of them, but you can't miss too many. If you miss too many, then the second door will not open. As you can see, we were lucky and we got all of them. This first door here was opened by the yellow junction box. You'll get this regardless. And just left to this container is what you were shooting the baseballs for. If you hit enough of them, you'll be able to open this one. In the area where you drop down a zip line to take out a load of ads, you'll find the next container. Straight after that container, you'll climb down a ladder and there's another hidden container.
Just like we'll eradicate the virus and finish the job Joe Barrow started.
The cleaners really did a number on her. Jesus.
From the last container, head up a ladder and you'll find another hidden container in the next room.
Gas valve detected.
I've got a visual on Conley again. She's moved to the upper deck. Looks like she's preparing for her last stand.
Typical extremists, doubling down on their own insanity. Rogue agent detected.
The final container of Stranded Tanker can be found right near the end of the mission after you go up this zip line. There are 4 loot containers in the Viewpoint Museum mission. The first one can be found soon after the first area that you clear. There is a secret room on Viewpoint Museum, and it's soon after the first one that we just got, just here in the video footage. You can see loot behind it, but I think you can only open that door on story mode. If you come into the next area where there is ads, there's a hole in the wall on the right, and a junction box you can shoot. But for some reason in Escalation, the junction box was blacked out. We couldn't open the door, but I'm pretty sure there is loot inside of there. So just for as a worthy mention, I couldn't get in there on this occasion, on this escalation mission. Once you have cleared the area we're just in with the globe in the middle, you'll go through the next door to find the second loot container. As you're making your way up to the production studio, you'll find a third loot container in this area here. And then the final loot container will be found once you reach the production studio. Jefferson Trade Center has 6 loot containers for you to find. The first one is in the third area. The second container can be found right next to where you got to reactivate the Isaac node.
There should be a terminal that'll let you reactivate the node.
Straight after the last container, you'll head upstairs and you'll find your third container.
Continue your sweep of the complex.
Hostile radio intercepted.
Hello?
The next container will be at the end of the parking garage area. You'll find your next container just before the area where you locate Agent Espinosa. And the final container in Jefferson Trade Center is in the area where you find Agent Espinosa. There are 5 loot containers to be found inside a bank headquarters. The first container is in the second area. The next container can be found after you kill your first named enemy. It's going to be behind a locked door. The next 2 loot containers can only be got if you pick up a secret key. So from the last container we just opened, head over here to interact with this panel on the wall to collect the key. Once you get into the vault, you'll be able to use the key that you found to open 2 more containers.
Hostile radio intercepted.
The alarm! Fucking division got into the vault!
It's cool. We moved the president. He's tucked away nice and cozy upstairs.
Holy shit. They pulled the president out of the wreckage.
As you progress through the mission and take the elevator up soon before you meet the president, you'll find a final loot container. DCD headquarters has 6 loot containers for you to open. This first one is right after the first area. Just upstairs after the last one and after interacting with the laptop, you'll find a second loot container by going down these stairs.
Alright, let's see what we've got. There's an active lab on the north side close to you. Your first priority should be to...
Not too long after you clear the laboratory, you'll head back outside and you'll be heading to the western building. Before you go inside, there'll be the third loot container. You'll find your next loot container soon after clearing this area. You'll have to go down the zip line on an elevator and it'll be on the ground. In the area where you take on a chunga with a sledgehammer, you'll find another loot container. And the final container in DCD headquarters can be found before you interact with the laptop to download the DCD research.